Good morning, everyone. It is a cool morning, and I slept very well last night. I'm glad for the cool weather, because the black flies and mosquitoes aren't out right now. They will undoubtedly be out later. Whew. That's okay. We'll take it as it comes. Started out with another uphill today. And between you and me, my body is getting exhausted. It's getting slower and harder to get up and get going in the mornings, and it's noticeably more achy at night while sleeping. The continuous days of ups and downs and long and steep inclines and boulder scrambles are taking a bit of a toll physically, and that's just because rest periods, rest cycles in between days just really never are enough to fully recover from a day of this. You know, Garmin is not the authority on muscle recovery, but I always find it humorous at the end of each day when I finish my hike. Garmin tells me that I need 32 hours of recovery before I start my next physical activity. Get about 8 to 10 hours. So that is not just unique to me. It is common for all thru-hikers, and it is common at this point in the thru-hike to start to experience daily exhaustion. So how am I combating it? Number one, positive mental attitude. Number two, eating the right foods and drinking plenty of water. 3, resting and sleeping when I can. 4, Neros into towns. So during this final stretch through Maine, I will be taking a Nero every 2 to 3 days as I work towards the end goal. My last Nero will be in Monson. So the goal is to carry no more than 2 to 3 days of food until I reach Monson, in which case then I will complete my resupply for the 100-mile wilderness, which will be the last resupply before reaching Baxter State Park in Mount Katahdin. So the key is being aware of your level of exhaustion and addressing it appropriately. I can't say enough, at least for me, positive mental attitude is so vital. It doesn't always work. Sometimes it's easy for the exhaustion to seep in. And the only way you can really combat that when it starts to seep in is rest if you can, and if you can't, drink water, have a snack, reflect on everything, and find those positive elements that keep you moving. And that's what I'm doing. So, enough of that. Let's talk about today. Today's gonna be a short mileage day, 9.5 miles. And I'm glad for that. But because it's a short mileage day, doesn't mean it's gonna be an easy day. First up, we're going over Goose Eye Mountain and the Goose Eye Peaks. And after that, we will take on the Mahoosuc Notch and the Mahoosic Arm. The Mahoosuc Notch, again, being widely considered to be the hardest mile on the Appalachian Trail. It's not really a hike. It's a technical rock climb. Bouldering all day. Well, bouldering for a mile. So at that time I will put away my trekking poles, climb, crawl, and scramble through the Mahoosuc Notch. And I intend to go slow and enjoy it. Kind of thinking of it like a big adult jungle gym made of rock. And then after that is a very steep climb up the Mahoosic Arm. After that, we will end our 9.5 mile day at Speck Pond Shelter. That is the plan. So in the meantime, I'm gonna work on this climb that I'm doing now, which is the first peak of the Goose Eye. Thanks for being with me, everybody. I'm Brex. Completed the AT climb to the top of West Goose Eye Peak. This is a short little spur trail taking us to the summit. As you can see, there are no views today. Well, the first of the 3 Goose Eye peaks is complete. The climb wasn't too bad. I went very slow. It made it a little bit more enjoyable. But the West Peak is done. On to the next. Goose Eye, East Peak. So we are nearing the Goose Eye North Peak. We're actually on what is referred to as the Goose Eye North Peak ridgeline. There's typically views, but I don't think we are destined for any far views today. Hopefully this afternoon. But if not, I will take it as it comes. The walk is kind of nice. There's been some climbs and descents, but I'm moving super slow today. I would call it a leisurely pace. And it's really enjoyable. Almost 3.5 miles into the day, and we have reached the peak of Goose Eye North, or Goose Eye North Peak. Still no views. This wind and the fog is very peaceful. I just had probably one of the most pleasant, casual, leisurely walks on the AT. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it might be the most relaxing walk on the AT so far. Just nice and slow and casual. I'm going to stop here and take a break. We've got one more mountain before we reach the Mahoosuc Notch. We are on Fuller Mountain, which is our last climb before the Mahoosic Arm. But before we can get there, we have to descend down from Fuller Mountain to the Mahoosuc Notch. And everyone, we have entered the Mahoosic Notch. And so, now that we've completed the Mahoosuc Notch, we have a 1.5 mile climb up the Mahoosic arm. 0.5 of it is supposed to be a vertical, technical climb. Well, everybody, it was a long, difficult climb, but I would not describe it as technical vertical. But all that being said, take a look at that. So tomorrow we are going to go up and over Old Speck Mountain, which is in front of us. And upcoming, way off in the distance, is Saddleback Mountain, which we will climb as well. As for today's climbs, they're over. Time to get to camp. This is Speck Pond, an alpine lake at the foot of Old Speck Mountain and near the Speck Pond shelter where I'm staying tonight. It looks dark, but those are just tannins in the water. The water is actually pretty clear. Well, everybody, it was an amazing day today, especially when you consider the opportunity to check off some major milestones. The Mahoosuc Notch and the Mahoosic Arm are infamous within the Appalachian Trail community because of their difficulty, especially when you compare the relative short distance that it takes to complete them. But the time required to complete them is significantly longer. All said and done, it took us about 2 hours to complete the 1 mile Mahoosuc Notch, and the 1.5 mile climb up the Mahoosic Arm took about 50 minutes or so. So it wasn't too bad. But it was a super great day. The weather was phenomenal for hiking. It started out cool and foggy, but it really definitely cleared up in the afternoon and turned out to be a terrific day. I am at the Stratton Pond campsite. I have my tent set up behind me. And tomorrow will be a 14.9 mile day where we will go up and over Old Speck Mountain as I work my way towards the town of Andover, where I will catch a shuttle into town and resupply before continuing onward. So that's the plan for tomorrow, and a quick recap of what we did for today. These last few days have been very tiring. The terrain is very unforgiving. It's strenuous, steep. It pushes the body, but the recovery is good. Just at the end of the day, I think because of the long duration of the Thru-Hike and the added difficulty of the terrain in New Hampshire and now in southern Maine, I think the miles are beginning to take a toll. That being said, it's almost hiker midnight, and I'm going to get some much needed rest so that I can hit the trail again tomorrow. Thank you, everyone. I'm Bricks.